Hello and welcome to Lovett Film. My name is Jamie, and today's guest is a special one, Dinesh Thyagarajan, who starred in Superman. He played Malik in the movie, and if you saw Superman, the biggest movie of the summer, you'll know just how important of a character he played in the movie. Dinesh is great. I talked to him yesterday. You're about to see the interview now. We talk about everything from what it's like to audition for a movie like Superman, what it's like being directed by James Gunn, and what it's like being on set with Superman. I can't wait for you guys to see this interview. So without further ado, let's get into the interview.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jamie.
Ah, thanks for coming on, man. This is a
Same
really
here.
exciting conversation. I just saw you in the cinema this summer in Superman, so it's crazy to talk to anybody who worked on such a mega project. But also, you're an actor in your own right. You've done a lot of things. It's great to have you.
Mhm.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Dinesh Thyagarajan is an actor who recently starred in the biggest film of the summer, which was Superman. And your character, I mean, it was one of these characters. I mean, we'll get into spoiler territory a little bit later, where it got at people's emotions. But before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about you as an actor. What drew you to acting, and when did you realize that this was the career that you wanted to pursue?
To be honest, since my childhood, I always wanted to be an actor, Not
Hmm.
just me, like me, there are millions of kids in South India, especially South India, we are so fond of movies.
Yeah.
So when I was a child, I used to be very naughty. I used to make fun. I used to mimic a lot of South Indian actors. So everybody they used to like encourage, like my grandma or my aunt, they used to say like, no, you have to become an actor. So since then, like always, this acting bug bit me like a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
But again, if you ask me when I started doing this professionally, see, a person who's born in a lower middle class family, especially in India, they have a
Hmm.
lot of things to do. Even they have so many dreams, but they can't pursue it because they need to support their family.
Yeah.
They have to work.
Oh, of
Uh,
course. Yeah.
so these things were there. Yeah, yeah. It took me a long journey since then, but yeah, 10 years ago is when I started doing this professionally and doing this full time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine being an actor because I assume it's a very, very difficult job to have. I mean, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, you were recently in Superman, which I mean is like as an actor, that's a like winning the lottery in terms of a project to work on. And your character was called Malik
Yep.
Ali in this film. I mean, take me
Mhm.
back to just how you got the role. Was it an audition process?
It is. Before then, it didn't happen all of a sudden. Like it's my 10 years
Yeah.
struggle, I got
Hmm.
this role. So in 2023, I think in the month of September or October, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it should be in September. So I got an audition invite from my manager. Her name is Candice. So she sent me an invite. And that time the working title was Genesis. It was not Superman. So they sent me an invite saying like they want me to audition for this role. So I didn't even know that he's a Superman because until I saw the makers, like the director, producer was James Gunn. Then like I know James Gunn. Like he's like a big director. So that's when I wasn't sure whether it's a Peacemaker or Superman because that's when they were starting Superman. Yeah, so I did an audition. I gave my best, and my audition was both the scenes, like these two scenes which I've acted in that movie. So they wanted to audition both these scenes. So I sent my audition. 2023, around December 10th, I guess. So my manager, she called me and she said, like Genesis, they wanted to check your availability and they wanted to know whether you have work permit or green card and all those things. And I said, like I'm fully available, like this is my dream project. So I said I'm available. So January 2024 on 15th, I guess. That's when she called me and she said, Dinesh, you got this role.
Yeah, I mean, how did that feel?
So it's like, like it's like a dream come true, Jamie.
Yeah,
Like, see, a person like me, a person of color and person, like I have a lot of limitations. I can't do every kind of role.
yeah.
So this role was meant for me, like, and, getting that, it's a dream come true for me.
Sorry, your character too. It very much is. It gives all the right message with Superman, where it's very much like these are the people love him, and Superman's character just loves this
Yeah.
guy who's, for once trying to save him. And it's very much the other way around. Superman's always saving people, but it shows the goodness in humanity that your character is taking Superman out of this hole and trying to give something back. I mean, was that the first thing you shot, that scene where your character was taking Superman out of the crater and the ground?
So my first scene was actually in the Pocket Universe.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
like, what happened was, so my first day in Superman, like, I flew to Atlanta. That's where they were filming that Pocket Universe. So when I went there, they have to do my fitting, wardrobe fitting, my makeup test, everything. So the key AD, her name is Katie, like key assistant director. So she was the one who was taking care of me. So I went to wardrobe, they had a fitting, then I went to makeup. So the makeup test, like after all
Mhm.
this, like Pocket Universe makeup, right? Like
Yeah.
my eyes swollen or all those things. So from there, like she took me to the set. So introduced me to James Gunn sir because he has to approve all my fitting and my makeup. And that's when I was entering this set. You won't believe, Jamie, that's a huge, huge set. And it was pitch dark and pin drop silence. There were like hundreds of people working, but it's like pin drop silence. It's like very, very silent. Like everybody are focused. I think it was directing and difference in same pocket when it was same. That's when she took me there and she introduced me to James Gunn. So James Gunn sir, he was very kind. He saw me and he had some correction, a minor correction of regarding my makeup and all those things. So from the next day onwards, that's when we started filming. Like it was like 3, 4 days we shot that particular scene.
Oh wow. I mean, that's crazy to imagine, say, your first time coming into this huge project and in this massive set. And I mean, that Pocky universe, it's, there's no sun there, right? So that's why it was so dark. I mean, what was it like working with
So
James
dark.
Gunn? Like what was very hot, was it?
No, like he's you know a person of that stature. He's the CEO of DC and he has given so many blockbusters. The person is so humble. Not even
Hmm.
an iota of arrogance. Like very very kind person. He
Yeah.
treats not just me, he treats everyone with respect. So, like, when we were filming, like we had to rehearse the first scene, like, it was
Hmm.
between me and Nicholas, like Lex Luthor and me. We have to rehearse. So I did, like, I don't know, like I did. So immediately, just after my rehearsal, David came, Superman, David came. Anthony with all the prosthetic makeup, he came. Lex was here. The Gurkos was here. And Mr. Handsome also with the prosthetic makeup. They all came,
Yeah.
they appreciated me. Like they are all like stalwarts. They have been in this industry for so many years. And that everybody knows them. They are the current superstars. And they
Yeah.
came, they appreciating me like it made me feel so ease. Whatever the nervousness I had, everything just went off.
Wow.
Very, very nice people. Entire team is very nice. Yeah.
That's great to hear. And I mean, I'd say when David came in the full Superman suit, was that a surreal moment? Like, are you a Superman fan as a child? Like, was that like this is crazy? That's like because when he's in the suit, like he looks like Superman, you know?
He doesn't only look Superman, he behaves Superman with
Hmm.
or without that. in the kid. He's really a very nice person. He's like 6.5 foot tall doll. He's my brother and he's a very nice person, very, very good-hearted person. Yeah, it's still a surreal for me, Jimmy. From the day I got that role, this minute I'm talking to you, is still a surreal for me. I'm still
Yeah.
have to come out of that particular thing. It's choking me. So like
Yeah, yeah.
how surreal this role for me. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can't imagine even myself. Like, I mean, I don't come from a very like, wealthy background or anything like that. I'm from Ireland where I can't imagine even my own self going into a scenario like that. You're just in a room with like a director like James Gunn. You have Superman, you have Lex Luthor. I mean, it just sounds crazy. And like you said, it's like being
Next.
in Star Wars, you know?
Imagine, yeah, imagine how I would have been, like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like what the
seriously,
yeah,
like, but,
yeah.
like surrounded by these people, and just imagine, to not trigger you, like if someone, like shows any kind of arrogance,
Mhm.
your entire confidence will die right away.
Yeah, yeah.
And these people are not like that. Okay. The reason why they are superstar because they are very humble, down to earth, and they are very, very kind, and they're very supportive. Even you're doing a small character, big character, they treat everyone with respect. And that's why they are where they are.
That's very good to hear. I mean, I can imagine as an actor too, it must have been cool to
See,
do the rehearsals in these sets. Like you said, you rehearsed with Nicholas Hoult doing the scene before you actually shot as well. I mean, did it take you and
yeah,
Nicholas a many?
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
no, Nicholas was right here, and these
Uh-huh.
guys were watching, like who, like David and Anthony, Mr. Hanson, Gulkos, they all were watching. And James Gunn was right. He was right in front of you, like he was just seeing, how this thing goes. Just one rehearsal, and immediately said, okay, let's go for take. So that means, they all liked. So that's when they came, they said, wait, they did good,
Wow.
like, let's go ahead, like, yeah,
Fast.
yeah. So that gave me confidence. Yeah, yeah.
That I mean that would too. It's like they're straight away like, yeah, we love what you're doing. I mean, when you were preparing for the role, do you have a certain type of acting you know, preparation process you do yourself, or like do you just go in, memorize the dialogue and do the best you can, that sort of thing?
No, no. So for me, personally, it's just not the lines, to memorize. Like I would
Yeah.
like to get into that character. So even if that character doesn't belong to me or I have no connection with that character, I get into depth. Like I go watch similar characters, movies, or someone who are into that thing. Like I try
Hmm.
to adapt. So I do my homework. So every role I audition for, I do my homework.
Hmm. When the trailers came out for Superman, you were in the trailers taking David out of the crater. At this point, did you have to keep it a secret that you were going to be in the movie? Like, did you have to like not tell anyone? Was it a big secretive process, or and when that trailer came out, was that like a, oh, I'm in the movie type of moment? If you're a fan of Love a Film and you're watching us here on YouTube, please subscribe. I mean, it would really help us. I mean, if you like our stuff, we post reels all the time on Instagram, on TikTok, and please leave a review. Reviews do great for us. I mean, helps us make more of these videos on Apple Podcast reviews. That's where the magic happens. So if you have time and want to give your thoughts, it doesn't have to be positive too. If you don't like what I'm doing, you can write that down. You can get angry. Yeah, leave a review. You can help us directly by signing up to our Patreon. The links are in the bio. I mean, hey, a little goes a long way. So if you want to do that, I really appreciate it.
You know what? Till the movie is getting released, I mean, the movie got released. Only then I called up my mom. I said, like I'm in this movie.
Oh
Till then,
wow.
no one knows. No one knows. But they know like I'm acting in some project, but no one know which project or in this particular project. No one knew. No one knew.
Wow. That must have been like such a cool moment to be
So,
like, I'm in
and I
Superman.
was tight-lipped. No, I was tight-lipped for almost 2 years. So I couldn't
Wow.
even tell it. Like as I told you, like I'm in this industry from past 10 years, like there are many movies I have done. And in the final eight, they have removed my character or my scene. So you never knew whether you'll appear in the final product. So when I
Mhm.
saw the trailer, then I thought, okay, yeah, I think I'm in the movie. So I don't think they're going to cut me. Even if they cut me, at least in one scene I'll be there. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Unless I watched the movie. Yeah.
Well, when was the first time you got a chance to watch the movie?
So this was like in US. There was a Amazon Prime premiere show,
Oh,
which
cool.
was held on, I think. Uh, yeah. So it was. I think it was on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. Tuesday in July 13th or 12th. I forgot. Yeah. But it was Amazon Prime premiere show. So that's when I went and I watched with the crowd. It was like full packed crowd.
Wow.
And you know what? The best part is no one, that recognized me. That's like I'm a Mali or anything. So they were a full packed theater. Like none they could, everyone were focused for Superman. So it was a
Ah.
fun.
You did such a good job in the movie. Honestly, you really did. I mean, I was talking to the team here at Love a Film, and I mean, with the scene when you did, this is big spoilers for Superman for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, but your character, of course, gets shot by Lex Luthor, and I mean, I'm not sure if I'm mistaken if you were the first character to die in this new DCU. But when you got the script, like, did you get all the information? Like, did you know, like, oh, my character is gonna die in this scene, or was it proper?
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Script for Mali. And in fact, the audition also, I did both the scenes. I auditioned for both the scenes. So I
So you
know
knew,
like
you knew straight
every
away.
lines of me and I knew straight away.
Wow, I mean, it's mad because stuff like that, you'd imagine that everything's very, very secretive, but I suppose you do have to know for your preparation and stuff like that. I mean, when you were given the script, like, were you given the whole script or were you just given your own scenes? Like, was a project like that, like,
No, no, no.
super?
Just my scene.
Oh, okay,
Just my
wow.
scenes. And yeah, just my scenes. But I know like before and after my scenes. So they were in the script had like I know what was happening before I entered that pit, like all those things I was knowing. And I do know like after I was shot, what happened. So those things I knew.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's genuinely interesting to me as an outsider to like hear about like how these things actually work. Now, it doesn't have to be about Superman, but in your acting career, has there ever been, say, like a director or an actor or a mentor that has had a big impact on you and given you a really good piece of advice?
So not a piece of advice, like everybody, like, like your family advises you, your friends that they advise you, your acting coach or your manager, everyone advises you. But, like the best thing, like till date, Superman is my biggest project I've ever done.
Hmm.
So there is anything which I have to look up to, it should be, it will be always James Gunn, sir.
Yeah.
Because, like with that stage, imagine like giving, you know, so many blockbusters. So humble, that person, like as if he acts as if he has done nothing, like not to be learned. I think, like at least 10, 20 years down the line, like if I'm able to behave like 10% of James Gunn, like I think that's a big quality.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like and someone that anyone would be lucky to work with, you know. You mentioned a little bit
Yeah.
earlier about like limitations on yourself and stuff and how meaningful it was to get the role in Superman. What does that character mean to you as in that role, as in this experience, the Mali, when you're going to look back on it? What did the experience of playing that character mean to you?
See, for me, like I am Mali. Okay, the character Mali is, like almost it's like me. Like like very, very faithful, like a person with gratitude. Okay. So it was very handy for me, like I didn't have to like go out of the box or anything. All I have to do is just be myself. So that's how I think, I was able to do at least some justice for that character.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're playing Lex Luthor as well, you know. You don't have to go into any dark areas in your mind, you know. Yeah. Maybe in a multiverse we'll see Dinesh as
Yeah.
Lex Luthor, you know. I'd watch that. I
Oh
mean,
my God. It,
you've been in.
yeah, yeah, like
I'd imagine. Sorry, go ahead. It cut off a little bit with the internet there.
no, no, like no, not at all. No, like yeah, I'm given a chance. Like I don't want to be like a stereotype actor. Like when they do
Yeah.
one kind of roles, like I given a chance. If there's someone who's offering me a character of villain character, I would grab it right away.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see it. I mean, obviously, a big part of your job is
Mhm.
auditioning. You know, I mean, do you get nervous when you audition for things?
Every single time. So I have like hundreds of auditions, Jamie, like hundreds of auditions.
Hmm.
Every single time, so every different project, I do get butterflies in my stomach. I think
Yeah,
it's there for every actor, I guess. No, it's not like a regular job thing. So every day is a different for you. Every role is a new role for you. You need to prepare for it.
yeah.
It does gives you nervousness. Yeah.
I suppose that could be a good thing too, as well. You know, that you're taking it serious and stuff like that. The nerves, they keep you in the zone. I mean, I'd imagine nowadays most auditions are over something like this, what our call today on Zoom, you know, or maybe a different call or
Self-tape. Yeah.
something. Yeah, or self-tape. Yeah. Do you prefer doing it in person or do
Yeah.
you prefer doing it on a device?
See, on device, you have a lot of advantages. You can do
Yeah.
multiple things till you perfect it. But in person, no. So you get one or two chance you have to hit the bullseye. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. But self tape, like you can play with it.
Yeah, of course, and you can do it as many times as you want till you have it where you want it, you know. Now,
Mhm.
Denisha, I don't want to keep you all
Yeah.
day. I know you're a busy guy, more auditions to do, getting back into the zone. I mean, what I'd like to leave you on today is a question more general for people like you now or people who want to get into your line of work. What advice would you have for people who want to be an actor and want to just get into the groove of doing auditions and start?
See, all I can say to, like any actor, if you have to become an actor, grow thick skin. This particular industry is not for everyone. You definitely need to grow a thick skin. Not everybody will encourage you. Not everybody is your friend. Okay. Uh, you, you need to keep focus. Uh, only thing is never ever give up. If you truly, truly love this profession, never ever give up. Come what may, never ever give up. Keep trying. One day you will succeed.
That's amazing advice, and I think anyone who's starting out being an actor can learn something from that. Now, Danish, I don't, as I said, I want to be respectful of your time. I don't want to keep you here all day. I just want to thank you personally for coming on to Lovett Film today. I mean, you were part of the biggest movie
Eh,
of the
eh,
year, and it was genuinely fascinating to hear about what your experience was like personally and how, James Gunn's directing presence impacted you and how kind Nicholas was and David was on set and just how what it's like being an actor in general. So again, thanks so much for coming on to the show and I look forward to hearing from you again in the future.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Yeah, by all means, thanks so much and all the best to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks
Maybe
for having me.
when your next performance as Lex Luthor.
No, like Lexus, it's for Nicholas. Maybe
You
like
can
a
you can be
henchman
like
for
Lex's
Lex.
brother or
Most.
something like that.
Yeah, like his henchman, like
Henchman, yeah,
yeah,
of course. Maybe he
yeah.
didn't actually shoot you because it was off camera, you know? So who knows?
So certain things I'm not supposed to talk. Okay, anyhow, it's all left
Yeah.
to James Gunn. It's a privilege. And thank you. Thanks for having me, Jamie. Thank you.
Ah,
Wish you
my
good luck.
pleasure.
Thanks.
You too. My pleasure. Thanks again, Dinesh. I'll see you
Thank,
now, okay?
thank you.
Big thanks to Dinesh for coming on to the show. This episode, unfortunately, we had a little bit of trouble with our camera when it comes to the outro, so you're going to enjoy me and Chris chatting about today's episode with picture stills.
So, guys, that was Dinesh. You're probably wondering who the hell is this be. Well, this is Chris. If you are just listening, if you don't recognize me, I'm the founder of the podcast. I haven't been in a few episodes in a while. Of course, I'm Jamie Sparrow.
Their hands are recognized.
Yeah. So, I haven't been on camera too much in a while, but I have been behind the scenes getting these podcast episodes out and getting our social media content out. Do plan to be more episodes and maybe hopefully do some interviews sometime soon myself with Jamie. But that was Dinesh. Absolutely lovely guy, right?
Dinesh Thyagarajan was a delight, for me, right? Superman, biggest film of the year. I mean, to get to talk to anybody from Superman was an absolute treat, I didn't think we were going to get the opportunity to talk to anyone from the movie because it's just so competitive and people sign NDAs and all these things. But the fact that he came on, he took the time to talk about his personal life, how he got the role as Malik and how he himself felt like he is Malik.
Yeah.
Which is just, man, what do you think is Superman, though?
Superman, I've actually watched it twice now, so had some time to it's kind of, I guess, my thoughts of it. Superman definitely does justice to Superman, does justice to the character. James Gunn, essentially, I think, does get Superman right. The way that James Gunn gets Superman right is the fact that he kind of treats Superman as the fact that he's not just an alien. He's also spoiler alert for Superman. Superman is also a human. He's actually more human than he is alien. I think so many interpretations of the character get this one aspect wrong. I love Henry Cavill in Steel, but the thing is, and of course the next movies after that. But the thing is, they just made him too alien and the attitude too godlike. Yeah, I think he used to be my favorite interpretation. And I got to see Smallville thanks to your recommendation. After watching Smallville, I was like, no, this is Superman, because I was always a Batman fan, to be completely frank. And then seeing Smallville, I was like, this is the Superman. I love it, of course. Tom Welling never wanted to get suited up. Hope to see Tom Welling find
There's still time. James Gunn, come on. You want to see Smallville, the movie. You can put it on HBO Max. You can get Rosenbaum as your best friend. Come on.
I think you would actually do it now, Tom Welling. He's kind of, I had to do Talkville for a bit.
He would. And, the new Superman, David Cornsweet, and the new Lex, Nick Holt, they were saying in interviews that they grew up on Smallville. That's their Superman and Lex.
But yeah, anyway, back on Superman and Superman. He's a human. He listens to bad music. He makes bad jokes. He gets offended over bad hashtag, he's super shit. Yeah, he's a guy, and that's what James Gunn gets right. And in terms of course, he's Superman. He's jolly. He's sense of humor. He's great with kids. He's essentially, James Gunn gets Superman right, I think.
He understands Superman. What understands in fundamentally, yeah.
And what did you think of Lex?
Lex, he was great. My favorite Lex Luthor is the only good Lex Luthor, Michael Rosenbaum. And good is an understatement. Rosenbaum is exponential as Lex. He's the best. He's so menacing, but at the same time, you're like, you know what? I'm kind of rooting for that guy for some reason that I don't quite understand. And that's what Lex Luthor's about. And I think Nicholas Hoult coming in a shorter amount of screen time than Rosenbaum, he does it right. He's very much this envious guy who has all the resources and money in the world, but he isn't happy at his own skin. And if that was Lex Luthor to me, I think James Gunn and Nicholas Hoult, they understood that.
It's true though as well. God, apparently Nicholas Hoult got advice from Michael Rosenbaum before playing Lex Luthor. And you can see he definitely took some elements from that character. My favorite scene in the movie, and I was actually going to say this in a review we're going to post on TikTok, but one of my funny scenes in the movie was when Lex is in the pocket dimension and he shows this army of chimpanzees that are in H helmets to avoid him. And I'm like, that is so something that Lex Luthor would do. Like, it's something straight out of the JLA. He just reanimated series. you know, and of course Smallville, like, you know, and it's absolutely hilarious. What about Lois? What about Lois? And
You know what? My favorite Lois Lane is Erica Durance. Okay, Smallville again. You're probably thinking I'm Smallville biased, but it's kind of true at the same time. That's my favorite Lois. Rich Brosnan, unreal. She got everything correct about the character. She even reminded me of Margot Kidder from Chris Reeve movies and her voice. I don't know if anyone else picked that up. Her whole vibe was just, it was Lois Lane.
yeah, I mean, one element that they got right as well is that, like, I feel like in many interpretations of that character, they portray Lois as kind of more just the, you know, proto, like, strong, like, female kind of, that we focus on. It's just the fact that she is like strong female reporter, or like in some interpretations she's like an FBI or an agent for the CIA. I was like, yes, she's a reporter, and you know, that's her personality. But like, the whole thing is,
you know, man, sorry to interrupt. The only thing I don't like about Lois Lane in the Superman is the fact that she is completely able to fly Mr. Terrific ship like she's been drugging F1 for the past 6 years. It doesn't make any sense. But that's the only criticism of Superman I have. Like, she's like, yeah, buckle up, guys. And it's like, how are you able to fly this ship as good as Mr. Terrific? As they say, I'm Southfield, suspenders. Yeah, like, just the lady, I guess. And if I don't know, Superman is still great, you know. It's just that's really likely. For Lois, I think it's a hard balance of how do you make a strong, like, female character like that relatable, like, with an alien. There's just so many incels and stuff like that. Yeah, true. And that, like, get really, and of course, like, I'm all for those things characters, but a lot of the interpretations, they just focus so much on the fact, you know, that she's badass and all this, and like, they're doing this for years with her comic book characters. Yeah. Just to prove that they're not being misogynistic and all this, but you know, they do a great balance of showing that Lois has her flaws in this movie, but she also, she challenges Clark, you know. It's like the perfect balance of being, of course, reporters are supposed to be, journalists are supposed to be quite, like, the Christine line, you're supposed to get action. But they get that balance right with this Lois, you know. So yeah, and like, what about the overall kind of the movie? Like, I mean, we gave it on TikTok, yeah, a review. I did say, responded to one of you guys in the comments saying I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think you agreed with that.
Yeah,
it's a 9 out of 10, you know, which is very, very high. Like, we don't give rookie ratings, you know,
especially not for superhero movies.
No, and like, speaking of superhero movies, I mean, we have a lot more to talk about today. The next one we saw was the Fantastic Four, and I'll begin by saying I really liked Fantastic Four First Steps. You know, third attempt now, and Marvel's First Family. I think the casting was great. Even Pedro Pascal surprised me because he is overcasted at the moment. He's in everything. But yes, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Pedro Pascal is in absolutely everything. Like, how many? I went to the cinema there the other day here in Dublin, and it was walking to the Petit Fantastic Four, and I walked past 3 movie posters with Pedro Pascal.
Look, we're getting off track with Fantastic Four, talking about Pedro Pascal. Back onto the movie. I'll ask you what you think of it in a moment, but what I thought was the casting was great. I really like Silver Surfer. I thought the plot, the first half of the movie was way stronger than the second half. I was saying that, where it was like, what was a 10 out of 10? And then the ending brought it down to me anyway to about, say, 8.5, something like that, you know. But I thought the movie was great. I thought the casting was great, but the score was a standout. I mean, not music, you know, it stays with you. What do you think of the movie?
Yeah, no, the double back, I agree on the score. And Michael Giacchino was kind of doing everyone. He's not my favorite movie composer by any means, but he's all of them out. So he's some people are calling him the superhero composer guy. Don't necessarily agree with that, but like Michael Giacchino, he's great. Yeah, but like, you know, I still don't think he touches Danny Elfman's Spider-Man, you know. But you know, the movie, it felt like a disaster movie, and I know this is not something an original thought. This is actually Cosment for early hour his thoughts on this on YouTube, and his puppet's great. Fantastic Four is definitely like a disaster movie because you know, so in like say Avengers Infinity War, in most Marvel movies, when there's a scary threat like that where the world's gonna end, the project's still cracking a million jokes in the third act. This movie, of course, doesn't shy away from jokes, but if you notice in the third act or the second and third act, they kind of tone that down, and it's actually you can actually kind of scared for this universe, which is
The humor was intelligent too. It wasn't that stupid like, oh, one character is give a dig to another character or reason, that classic Marvel humor.
and that's very prominent Ultra Fantastic Four. Like they're kind of wacky, they're kind of quirky.
Did you see that scene where Galactus like picks up the trees and starts sniffing them stuff? And it was such an intelligent little gag where Johnny just looks at him like he's a weirdo. He's acting strange.
Yeah, Galactus, great. I can't really who played
Lydia Garland?
Galactus.
Oh, we're playing Galactus. I know he's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was great. Very menacing, very scary, similar threat level to Thanos and stuff like that. My favorite characters in this movie, to be honest with you, I gotta say, it's Sue and Johnny. Like they were nailed to a T. Like
Vanessa Kirby is how you do a female character correctly. Yeah, Invisible Woman. She was so compelling, and all of her, motivations made sense. She was like, I'm gonna destroy this girl because that's my baby. I believe in that. That's how you do a compelling, badass female superhero. And, it should be set next to the likes of Captain Marvel. That's how you don't do it. This is how you do it. Because you actually care about her. You actually want to know. It's like Captain Marvel was trying to prove, I'm all this because I'm a woman. But, Vanessa Kirby's Sue was, no, it's absolutely just, I want to protect my baby. Because this carrots the other aspects. Yeah, I'm not just, and I mean, for me now, going into some digs for the film, for me, look, had a great time watching it, but it's probably like just Marvel back at its Marvel back at its form, but at the end of the day, it's still a Marvel movie, which means I could predict everything that happens as you do with a superhero movie. I know it's obvious, but I just felt, of course, was very, very safe in the aspect of like they had a very clean 2 hours one time. Trent probably cut some scenes out. Felt like maybe you could have had a bit more of it. It's a few more like into it scenes with the family. But look, it was a very clean movie. I'm not saying like I should have been 3 hours long, but it was just felt like a very safe Marvel movie, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that I can predict every moment. Yeah, true. I mean, Fantastic Four. What would your rating be?
I never for Superman. You gave it 9 out of 10. I'd give this a 7.5.
7.5. I would go higher. Go 8.5.
Well, it's just with superhero movies now. I kind of have to, put something like. I'm put Sinners at like a 9.
Sinners to me was a 9.7.
Yes, maybe it's 10. You gotta know the
you saying the next movie? Yes, the next movie we're gonna talk about. I mean, I had enough but so to say. To be honest with you. It was at the new, I know what you did last.
You played the podcast.
Yeah, okay, I push it over.
We get two guys, so we get two.
Yeah, we're not that free, yes. But I know what you did last summer. Look, some films should be made, some shouldn't. Not to me. I understand that it takes a village to make a movie, and there's so many different departments that just give everything to make something brilliant, and put all their effort into it. But that movie, it wasn't it. I mean, it all comes down to the writing, and the writing was really, really, really bad. Now, I will spoil the movie now, so if you haven't seen it, do click away from this video and come back. But the ending of the movie, Freddie Prinze Jr., for some reason, he's the bad guy. Now, when you see the first film, he survives the attack from the killer, and he goes on to be alive and, get with Jennifer Love Hewitt or whatever. It makes no sense. It's like somebody was literally brainstorming and being like, oh, what if we made him the killer? Oh, that's funny. And then they went to hell with it. It makes no sense. That's just one bad element to that movie. The next bad element is the main cast. They are so unlikable and make no sense. None of those characters look like they want to be friends with each other. The main character, I can't remember her name, but she was the most unlikable protagonist I've seen in years. Now, I'm not that harsh on movies, but I mean, I have to say about this one in particular, this one was a stinker, Chris. This was a really, really bad one. So, but if you have the chance to see that movie, don't.
quickly spec. I mean, look, talking about some positives, Madeline Klein, I think she was the only one that gave like a decent performance out of the other characters. Freddie Fitz Jr., I mean, again, he gave it, and Jennifer F. Hewitt, to give it to her all, but there wasn't much to work with there. It was a very nice looking movie. I mean, the cinematography, the colors, it wasn't great, you know. But yeah, I mean, I know we did last summer. I'm unfortunately going to have to give it a 3 out of 10. Okay. Final thing we want to talk about real quick, just because it's kind of relevant to some potential guests we could be getting on the show. Dexter Resurrection. Yes, no, you're not going to stay too soon. But you know, maybe cut this part out, Carl, if we don't end up getting it there. But yeah, Dexter Resurrection. What are your thoughts? Peak. It's peak, man. Now, look, I've heard a lot of criticisms about Resurrection where people are like, oh, it's not like the original Dexter. It doesn't have the vibe. It doesn't have the right music. All these things. I agree. Daniel Licht was a much better composer, and the new composer, although good, is missing some really, really important Dexter music and I'm watching scenes going, that should be there, a song in my head or a track or something. But that's just the music. The actual plot really is out to blowing me away. It's so fresh, so interesting. So I did consider, like, what else can they do with this character now? I know obviously they have Harrison in the story, song, obviously spoilers for Dexter, everything. You know, got the Resurrection, you know, click off to the video, we'll come back to the end. But yeah, considering, like, you know, you think this character, what else is to do with this character? But of course, they have Harrison, his son. That's the whole thing of him trying to repair his relationship with his son. I only actually recently watched Dexter for the first time this year, and the years of people trying to get me to watch it. And watched the whole series, then straight to New Blood, then Original Sin, and of course Resurrection. And you know, of course, I was pretty disappointed with getting a Dexter, as everyone was about 10 years ago, more than 10 years.
You're probably let down on New Blood.
Yeah, but New Blood, I knew there was another one coming out. But I got it. Yeah, that was it. The next ending we all thought happened in 2020. Yeah, no, it was the depressing, but yeah, no, like, of course, like, I think, you know, I think if there's so many elements, if the story was different, you have completely different Dexter Resurrection. Like, if they did kill off Dead at the end of season, you know, season 8 there in the original series, if they kept Liberty even alive. You know, there's so many different potential that they had for the story, but considering what they're working with, considering the only characters they have to play with are new characters, and Batista and Malik Quinn and you know, what's his name? Masuka. Yeah, Masuka. Considering they're the only 3 characters from the original series with Dexter, we need more Desmond Harrington. Yeah, Joseph Quaid is my favorite character in Dexter. I do not understand why he's not in every episode of Resurrection. He's incredibly underused. That's just my, he's a fan favorite. I think if I was to rewrite Resurrection, now again, I'm not taking love making that brilliant show. I mean, these people are badass in what they do, but I would have put Quentin with Batista in that scene in the hospital when he's like, yo, Dexter, you're alive. I would have had them too. Like, Buddy Cops again. Buddy Cops from behind. Yeah, no, there's, I mean, like, you know, if I had Masuka with the King to doing another, like, 2 or 3 seasons after this, so, like, it's, you know, it's, I don't see there's only so much you can get with the story, but, no, I'm pretty happy with it, considering, you know, like, you take this show, like, what else would you do with it?
Yeah.
But Dexter's still alive, and everyone still doesn't know who Dexter is, so, you know, like, the show would be over for us if they found out who Dexter was, which is having the original series, I think, should have ended. But yeah, my criticism though for the show is this quite varies, that there is a legion of serial killers led by no who to be a Dinklage, who's great, of course. Andy Villarreal, he's amazing. But you know, that's a bit of you know, suspenders of disbelief there, where it's like, it's kind of a bit goofy. You know, there's killed. He somehow has a trophy room with every single serial killer. It's like, how he's rich and all, but like, come on, guys. It's like, how the hell? Like, that's just, how does he even have access to lights? You know, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, but you know, I'm having a fun time with the dialogues between what's his name, with Seal and Kristen Ritter. So
yeah, they're very, very good chemistry. And you know, my hope for the rest of the show is, I hope they don't kill Zeus Batista, because, you know, any Dexter fan knows if you're after Dexter, there's only so much longer you gotta stay alive, which is sad. I really hope they don't go down that route. I do hope that at at some part in the rest of the season that Harry, the ghost Harry talking to Dexter in his ear, turns into Julie Benz Rita. You know, I'd love to see where Rita's like, "Hey, Dexter, that is our son. Go help her." So I just think that would be a wasted opportunity because in this season, it's so much of Dexter has to help Harrison, and I think that's something we wouldn't expect. I think that'll be, we haven't seen it. But anyway, we should wrap it up.
Yeah, we possibly will not have an episode next week. We're just taking a little break. We currently, after this episode is there, we'll have 32 episodes of Lovett film. That is insane. And we only start pumping these episodes out in December. So it was actually mid-December. So that's 32 weeks, 4 different episodes, which is crazy. Edge's really the podcast and the social medias has really grown. So thanks so much for watching. Yeah. And stay tuned for what's to come. Is there any guest in particular that you think you might want on the show? Just leave a comment.
If you want us to interview Rob Weedoff, John Marston, we want to as well. We can go on to his comment section, say, "Love it film, do an interview," because we're trying to get an interview with Rob. We've interviewed, Roger Clark, Benjamin Byron Davis, Alex McKenna. We've even interviewed like Ned Luke, Sean Fontino, like the GTA guys. It would be great to get Joe Marston. Yeah, so go out to this comment. We're not done with the video game or we just have to get the guests. But again, I mean, like you said, 32 interviews. I just want to take a second to thank every single guest for coming onto the show and chatting to us here about their lives and what they do for a living, because making movies, it is crazy. And being an actor of video games is insane. It's a crazy career, and for us being outside this, it's very interesting. And thank you guys for coming along for the ride. There'll be a lot more to come. Thanks, guys.